Welcome back, everybody. This will be your pre-lab lecture for the very first lab. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to go through the syllabus first. And let me change the view here so that you can see the syllabus as I go through it. So the first thing to take note of is that there's no required textbook. Generally, for Organic 1 lab and Organic 2 lab, you usually do have to have a lab manual that you would use to fill out all your lab reports and do your experiments. You buy this from the bookstore and you use it during your in-lab labs. But since this lab is completely online and we're using LabFlow to disseminate all the information, you don't need to buy a lab manual for this Organic 1 lab. Continuing on, some required materials. Just like in lecture, you need a Texas Instruments or TI-30 series calculator. It's highly recommended for doing your calculations. A lot of it will be like calculating percent yield and stuff like that from your experiments. But any non-graphing calculator will do. You'll also need a computer with access to the internet so that you can access LabFlow. And of course, you need Microsoft Office and Adobe Acrobat for you to be able to complete your reports, upload them, and even view the lab handouts using Adobe Acrobat. As far as class requirements go, I already said this before, but I'll say it again. Lab is going to be completely online this semester, and it will be provided through a third-party provider called LabFlow. There are instructions on Blackboard that tell you how to register for a LabFlow account, and when it asks for when it prompts you for a section number for your registration, that number is 20005. So let me just switch over to Blackboard real quick and show you where that is. So if you go to, let's see here, important handouts, and other important handouts, there is LabFlow enrollment instructions. And you click on the LabFlow enrollment instructions and you see instructions on how to enroll yourself in LabFlow if you haven't done so already. Remember, our registration number is 20005, and that's how you will access the lab through LabFlow. So going back to the syllabus, grading criteria. Of course, the lab portion of this course constitutes 25% of your entire course grade. That 25% breaks down as follows. Pre-lab quizzes are worth 5% of that 25%. The lowest quiz grade will be dropped. Lab assignments and reports, the lowest grades also will be dropped there. That's worth 5%. And then the midterm and the final exam are worth 7.5% each. The grading scale is self-explanatory and as follows. For you to be able to earn A, B, C, or D, or F in the class, you can make the calculations yourself with your posted grades on Blackboard and try to figure out what your grade will be or you expect your grade to be. This is the most important part here. We have an online lab structure. Generally, organic lab is taught face-to-face, but that's difficult when we don't return to the campus until the fall. And so everything, of course, will be disseminated through Blackboard and LabFlow. So based on the experiment schedule that we have that is available through Blackboard and is on this syllabus, you will do experiments by way of video demonstrations and handouts. And these experiments that you have to do or work on will be posted twice a week, on Tuesdays and on Thursdays, right? Beginning today, this Tuesday. Excuse me. They'll be posted by 8 a.m. in the morning, and they will be due the following day by the end of the day. So if you are on a Tuesday and you're working on lab will be posted at 8 o'clock a.m. It will be due by Wednesday, 11:59 p.m. If you're working on lab on Thursday, that's posted on Thursday, the lab will be posted by 8 o'clock, and then it will be due the following day, Friday, by 11:59. So you have 2 days to complete each lab assignment. So when you log into your LabFlow account, you'll see that there'll be a bunch of links with tiles that will represent the different lab experiments that you're going to do. And so these lab experiments, like I was saying before, will consist of watching a pre-lab video lecture from me on Blackboard, and then you'll log on to LabFlow where you'll actually watch videos and work on handouts that are in LabFlow for each experiment. So let's switch over to LabFlow real quick and take a look and see what that's like. So when you log into LabFlow, you'll see that you're in Tarrant County College after you've registered. You'll be in the Tarrant County College Northeast Campus Summer 2021 Chemistry 24-23 section. And this is what LabFlow looks like, right? Every single experiment that we'll be working on will be listed, right? But you will only have access to the experiment that is scheduled for that day. So scheduled for today, on Tuesday, right, is going to be the lab safety experiment, uh, uh, or the lab safety exercise, and then also scheduled for today will be the melting point of compounds and mixtures lab exercise. So the interesting thing to note here is that just for this lab session here, the safety in the organic lab exercise, you will watch all these videos about lab safety, and then you will take a safety quiz. Now that's different from the rest of the lab, because for every other lab afterwards, you will actually do a pre-lab first, and then after you do the pre-lab, which is listed right here, you see here the pre-lab quiz for the, sorry, let me say that again. You will do a pre-lab quiz first before you actually do the lab exercise. And when you look down here at the melting point of compounds and mixtures lab, there's a pre-lab quiz right here. It's right before the report submission and of melting points tile, right? So you do the pre-lab quiz first, and then you will go through and read the PDFs, watch the videos, and then request your data for the report submission of the actual lab experiment itself. And I'll go through that now in more detail. So each lab is worth 100 points, and you have 2 attempts to do the lab. And the deliverables for the lab, what's due for the lab, comes in the form of you going through those videos, reading those handouts, and then going to click on the, like I was saying before, going to click on the report submissions tile right here. And in that report submissions tile, you'll be able to request data for the experiment. Data that's dry lab data, basically, because everything's done online. You'll use that data to fill out the report and then write a lab report that you will submit through Blackboard using that same tile, right? So the important thing to note here is that you will be using that data as though you actually took the data yourself from the experiment. You'll analyze the data and submit it all through LabFlow. If you did end up doing any calculations by hand, or you printed out the handout and filled out the experiment, the report and all the data on the experiment with a hard copy handout, then what you'll have to do then is you'll have to scan or photograph your work and then upload it along with your submission to LabFlow in the provided file upload area. That's the only way you're going to get credit for that lab experiment. Again, reports are worth 100 points, and you have 2 attempts to complete them. About the pre-lab quizzes, just like I was saying a few seconds ago, the first session, which is the safety quiz section, safety exercises section, the only thing you'll be doing there is watching those videos and then taking a safety quiz afterwards. But then beginning with the second lab session, which is the one for melting points of compounds and mixtures, you will do the pre-lab quiz first, then you will go through and watch the videos, look at the handout, read the handout, and do everything it says on the handout, and then request your data for the report submission. These pre-lab quizzes are worth 10 points each, and you'll have 30 minutes to complete them, and you get 2 attempts. So the important thing here is to remember to do the pre-lab quiz first before you go through and do the experiment by requesting the data from the report submissions tab. Lastly, we have the final exam and the midterm. The midterm will be assigned or posted after the 4th experiment, so it covers experiments 1 through 4, and then the final exam covers the last 4 experiments. They will be posted by 8 a.m. and they will be due that same day by 11:59 p.m. You have 60 minutes to complete that exam. You have to do it all in one sitting, and it has the same exact rules as other exams. As in lecture. The only difference is that for lab, The midterm exam and the final exams will be administered through LabFlow, not through Blackboard. Okay, so you don't have to worry about the Proctorio so much on LabFlow. But those exams will be there. So you have one chance to take it. You have 60 minutes. It will be due by the end of the day that is posted. So please remember to take your final exam and your midterm. They are not dropped. And then same rules apply for every exam as they are in lecture. You are allowed to use a TI-30 calculator or any non-graphing calculator during the exam, and you can also do scratch work on a white piece of paper. And that's it for that. And then we have office hours, or I have office hours, the same as I did back in the lecture. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 4 o'clock to 5 p.m. 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursday, and we will meet in our Teams, our Microsoft Teams area. And then if you need to meet with me outside of those times, just email me for an appointment. So let's take a look real quick at the lab schedule. I'm going to switch over to the other lab schedule. It's the same thing. The one in the syllabus is the same as the one that's posted in Blackboard. Only difference is the one in Blackboard has highlighted important dates. So we'll go back over here to syllabi. And we'll go to, sorry, not syllabi, course schedules. And then that's the lecture tentative schedule. And then we have the lab schedule. While the lecture schedule is tentative because we can, finish a lecture early or late or, on a different day than it actually says, the lab schedule is not tentative. It is the way it is, and it will be that way for the entire session, the entire semester, summer semester. So I want you to take notice of the highlighted days here. On Tuesday, June 15th, which is 2 weeks, which is in a couple weeks, that is your midterm exam, right? And it will be due that same day by 11:59 p.m. And it covers those experiments that's listed there. And then on the last day of our class, July 1st, also, not also a Tuesday, but a Thursday, will be the final exam, due that same day, and it will be covering those listed experiments. So that's basically it for this pre-lab lecture. Just remember that for today's experiment on Tuesday, remember that you're doing the lab safety exercises, and you are also doing the melting point of compounds and mixtures exercises, lab exercise. Oh, I forgot to say one other thing too. Over here in the comments section here where it says what's due and stuff like that, I do my best to put in the exact day that everything that I assigned in lab is due. So that's here for you too, so you know not to miss any of those assignments. They're important, those lab assignments. Okay, good luck with lab today. If you have any questions, email me. You could call me if you want to, but I'm never at my office. We're still working from home, so the best way to contact me is through email. Good luck, and let me know if you need any help. Thanks, bye.